We have, first of all, a presentation which is going to last 20 minutes by Jesper Kärrbrink from Mr. Green. And then after that, we're going to have two very short presentations of 5 minutes. And then all of the people that have just spoken are going to sit on a panel. So there'll be a bit of moving around. Jesper is going to talk now. Can we say, if anyone's got any questions relating to his presentation or his thoughts, can we save them for the panel discussion just so we can keep the pace up? And other than that, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Jesper onto the stage. Mr. Green, an interesting operator at the moment for many different reasons, not only going through a period of extremely impressive growth and product innovation, but they've also been acquired by William Hill very recently, and they are also leading the way in terms of responsible gambling and putting RG really at the heart of their strategy. So it's going to be a great talk. I'm going to welcome Jesper to the stage. Over to you.
Thanks for those kind words. Is the mic on? No mic? There we are, and with the mic. Fantastic. Nice to be here, and thank you for the invitation. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. My name is Jesper Kärrbrink. My background is e-commerce and media, but also some gaming. I was the CEO of Svenska Spel, the state-owned operator, the monopolist, back in the days. I also been in the board for Vera John, another iGaming company, and the CEO for Mr. Green for the last almost 3 years now. And perhaps it could be important in this case that I'm also the originator behind PlayScan, the algorithm and the system that Svenska Spel, Norsk Tipping, and Francis de Jeu is using for the responsible game as the responsible gaming tool. Mr. Green is perhaps not the biggest, but definitely one of the strongest brands in the industry. We are catering for approximately 100,000 players per month, covering casino, sportsbook, number games, live casino, of course. But we also, and proud to say that we are perhaps not the most, I wouldn't say that, but one of the most responsible iGaming operators out there right now. This is part of our DNA. This is something that we really invest into. And gladly, the industry has appreciated this. We got 3 awards, basically Grand Slam when it comes to CSR awards last year. And this is something that we are extremely proud of because we believe this is good for our business. We're also compliant. People call us unregulated in certain markets. No, we are not. We have 6 regulations. We are actually right now handing in our Spanish regulation. We have handed in our Swedish regulations. I hope we will run 8 regulations or be in 8 regulated markets next year. We are ISO 20001 certified, and we of course follow the GDPR. So this is for us the status we want to have, and this is where the industry is heading. We want the industry to be regulated. The industry today, compared with 10 years ago, you can't compare them. I mean, this is to become a proper industry. But more importantly, our view on responsible gaming. Well, first of all, it's for real, and it's our obligation to take responsibility. We heard before that the prevalent studies shows that there's approximately 2% of problematic gamblers in Spain. It's 0.7 in UK, it's 0.9 in Denmark, it's approximately 2% in Sweden. So I could say 2%, that's nothing. Well, the problem is these 2% ends up with us. So with us, the operators, of our population, I would say that we have approximately 10 to 12 to up to 15% of our players are problematic gamblers. And of course, we have to take a responsibility for this. Secondly, we see this as key. This is a key level for our to drive a sustainable business model. And this is one of the key issues with this industry. The business model we are running right now as an industry is not sustainable. I mean, look at what we are doing. We call it retention. The average retention in the industry is approximately 30% after 1 month. 30%. All other industries, all other e-commerce industries calls this churn. But our churn is so bloody high So we chosen to call it retention. It sounds much better to have 30% retention than 70% churn. So we are churning too fast. And we are acquiring new players all the time, acquiring. And how do we acquire? Bonus, aggressive advertising, etc. This is not sustainable. Taking responsibility for our players is sustainable, and that's the way that the industry has to head. And so for us, investing in responsible gaming is investing in a sustainable business. And the third view we have, that problematic gambling is individual. And being individual, it also had individual solutions. And this is what I want to talk about. And I know that not all of you will agree with me on this one, though I heard Martin earlier talking in the same direction. But this responsible gambling, or problematic gambling, I would say, is not about fast games, advertising, sponsorships, etc. This is what we hear in the debate all the time. But sorry to say, responsible gambling is not about these things. If you look at the data, this is Sweden. In Sweden, we've done prevalence studies for since the 80s, or perhaps even earlier. Back in the 80s, gambling was lotto, scratch tickets, pool games, slow games. You put in your lotto ticket on Wednesday, the draw was on Saturday, you filled in your Stryktipset, the pool on Wednesday, the games were played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Really, really slow games. Advertising was limited. Operators was 2, Svenska Spel and ATG. And number of problematic gamblers, 2%. Today, bang, it totally exploded. I mean, we have more than 2,700 casino games. We have more than 200 operators in Sweden. We have advertising 24/7. You can't see the TV unless you're bombarded with marketing from gaming companies. I'm not saying that is a good thing, but that's the thing it is. Fast games, fast bets, live bets, etc. You know what? Still 2%. So in my opinion, there is really no relation between fast games or advertising or other things when it comes to problematic gambling. So we can ban all advertising we want, and we will still have 2% of problematic gamblers. So banning advertising from a responsible gaming perspective is nonsense. Then we can ban it because it's annoying. Well, okay, that's fair. It could be annoying and we could ban it for that, but that would create kind of a strange situation, because I could be annoyed with all banking advertising or advertising for diapers or whatever. So there are no relation in between. And still, we have to take responsibility for this. As we heard the regulator say before, well, it might not be that there's a relation between advertising and gambling, but there's a sentiment right now. So we have to take, as an operator, we have to take this into consideration. And we know that Kindred is right now running a campaign in Belgium where I educate players about the risks of gambling. That's a nice thing. We have been doing this for quite some time. Sorry, and I'm going to show this film.
Hver eneste spiller opplever sin egen skreddersydde reise i Mr. Greens verden. Det derfor vi introduserer Green Gaming, for å sikre at spill på nett nettopp hva det bør være. Gøy, underholdende og trygt. Vårt unike Green Gaming-verktøy analyserer dine spillvaner, kommer med anbefalinger på hvordan du bevarer kontrollen over dine spill, og hjelper deg på vei mot en bedre spillopplevelse. Så hvis du på utkikk etter en mer ansvarlig spillside, spør etter Mr. Green.
Sorry, it was in Norwegian. We haven't done the Spanish versions yet. But this is an advertising only about responsible gaming. And being an operator today, we can't only say that, yeah, it's only 2%, or no, come on, it's just another advertising. If the sentiment is against us, we have to play with that sentiment. And we are trying to do this. 15% of our marketing budget in certain markets are dedicated to responsible gambling ads only. And we have to do this. But back to what we are doing. And the key word when we talk responsible gaming is KYC. Know your customer. That's the absolutely key word when it comes to responsible gambling. not fast games or advertising. It's know your customer. We have the data. Use the data and use it with responsibility. That's the key. And let me show you what we are doing in this. And this is a broad topic for us. The first thing we did was to build an organization. And not only an organization where we have I think it's almost 16 or 18 full-time employees only working with responsible gaming. But that's not enough. Every customer-facing department has someone that has responsible gaming as their part of their role description. And then we also have a steering committee where we have external and internal people reporting to me every month. This has to be core of the business. If we're going to turn this into a sustainable business, we have to make sure that we have an organization delivering on this as well. We have built that. It's a rather large organization, but it's part of our DNA and it's part of us making profits for the future. Having said that, the next step is to automate as much as we can, because we are handling 100,000 players per month. They're coming in new players, we have to know them, we have to know the KYC, we have to do the DDD, etc. on them, but we also have to figure out whether they have a problem or not. Of course, thousands of players every week, someone will slip through our fingers. I mean, I know that. I know that for sure. So we are trying to automate this as much as possible to make sure that we will find all the players that should play a bit slower. And then we build the Green Gaming Predictive Tool. This is, and a lot of operators are doing this, using data to make sure that they find the players that could be a problematic player and so forth. But what we have done, we turned this into a product. This is a customer-facing product. So if you play with Mr. Green, we will tell you whether you are green, amber, or red. In your face, we're going to tell you that, oh, wow, Jesper, you are playing too fast. You might have a problem. We're going to tell you that. Will some customer leave? Yes, some customer leave. Sorry to say. But some customers, and more customers, totally love this because we are suddenly caring about our customers. So this is, we are using the data, not only for our internal knowledge, but we also use the data to communicate with our customers on the site. In this case, the risk level is low. Good. And how do we do this? Well, first, you start with a self-assessment. We ask the players to grade to assess themselves based on 15 questions put together by Sustainable Interaction, a bunch of industry-leading responsible gaming psychiatrists. They put this together. It's used by hundreds of operators. It's a fantastic tool. That's part number one. The second part is that we also start doing the data analysis. This algorithm is built by the same Sustainable Interaction. It measures intensity, volume, speed, risk play, and change. And based on this, all players are getting a score, green, amber, or red. But we not only do that, we dig deep down into the data as well and present this to our players. So you might be red on time. You have full control of your money, but you play too much. Then we tell you that. Or vice versa. You don't play that much in time. That's okay, but you spend way too much money than what you wanted to do or actually what we see in the data. Then we tell you that. But not only that, we also cater the communication after where you are in this, in this matrix. If you're a green player, you get a certain communication. That communication is totally different to if you're a red player. If you're a red player, we stop sending advertising to you. We stop pushing that you should play more. Instead, but we are not stop communicating. We're not stopping communicating. We are communicating responsible gaming effort. Take a break, call someone, stop gaming, block yourself, self-exclude, etc., based on where they are. So we have adapted our communication strategy, and this is done automatically. I mean, this is the part of the CRM flow we have. In that CRM flow, we added the matrix for responsible gaming. So if I'm red, I should not get an advertising telling me that I could get like 200 free spins if I deposit 2,000 more euros. That would be bad. And we're not doing that. We take action. I mean, this is the kind of communication we are sending. But more importantly, we are right now rebuilding our front end and our sites. So instead of having one lobby for all our players, we are aiming for 100,000 lobbies. I will have my own lobby, Mareja will have her lobby, Fredrik will have his lobby, etc., etc. And if I'm a casino player, I love casino. That's going to be a very casino-intensive lobby. If I'm a sportsbook player, wow, they're going to be very sportsbook intensive, and it's going to be my games there. My AIK from Sweden is playing, so that's going to be top of my lobby, of course, because we know this. We have the data. Jesper plays AIK every bloody Saturday. Give him a good offer on Friday, and he will play on it. We will do that. No problems with that. But we will also integrate the green gaming tool into this. So my lobby, if I am totally green, my lobby will be the one to my right here. That's just a game. Play. Whatever. Play. I'm amber. That's the lobby in the middle. Suddenly, we tone down the gaming a bit. And there comes set your deposit limits and play responsibly. Takes up half the screen. I'm red. Well, that's the lobby to my left here. That's basically only about responsible gaming. And you see that 2 games down there? Yeah? Those are low-staking games because we know that this player loves to play. She will not stop playing, but perhaps we could get her to play on the low-staking games after she read more about her profile. So we are adopting the interface of the player to where they are on the green gaming scale. Not only that, also the communication. These are free depositing messages. They will differ whether you are green or red. In the red one, we basically tell you, stop depositing, do something else. Next step we are looking into is reality checks. This is also built by Sustainable Interaction. This is cognitive behavior therapy-based KBT, sorry, it should be CBT, programs, where we actually communicate with players that are speeding up, that are playing a bit too fast. We ask them to slow down a bit, answer these questions, and help them to get into where they should be into this. So this is just some examples. This is educating players, I would say, and helping them, steering them in the right way. We still want them to play. We still want them as customers. But we want them to play a bit slower. Is that stupid? No. From a business perspective, it means that they will play with us longer. We all know that the red player is burned out within 6 to 8 months. Burned out, gone. I mean, and burned out beyond Mr. Green, probably in depth and having serious problems. We don't want that to happen in the first place. But from a pure economic perspective, that player is gone. If we can get that player to go down to normal levels, we might keep her or him for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, not churn them after half a year. So all in all, our predictive tool in a nutshell, first of all, we give the player a tool to control his or her own gambling. We think that is the way, that's our responsibility. We have the data, we should show this data to the player. That's what we're doing here. We're building a tool, we're building a seatbelt. Please use it. It creates a safer environment, we know this. And it's a product. It's a player-first product. We love our customers. And come on, we more than love them. We are totally dependent on them. So we want to cater for them. So we have done this into a product. It's a player-first product. I also think this follows a strong Nordic trend. With Martin and we talked about this in the break. And actually, we have this small, shitty car band called Volvo from this small, shitty country called Sweden. They shouldn't survive. Honestly. Sorry, Volvo, you're not shitty. Honestly, they shouldn't survive. It's like 8 million people in Sweden. Back in the 70s, they decided to build the most safe cars ever. Actually, it's quite ugly, big bumpers and so forth. That saved that company. They focused everything on safety. And we all know how important that has become to the car industry. I think we do the same. And look where they are today. You're driving this Volvo. You're starting to drive a bit erratic because you're a bit tired. Bang! up comes a small image of a cup of coffee and tells you, perhaps, Jesper, you should take a break. You're driving a bit erratic. That's fantastic. I have a car caring about me and how I'm driving. I could say, sorry, car, but I don't care about you. I continue driving. Or actually stop and take a break. And perhaps save my life and some other lives. This is exactly what we don't want to do here. We want to have a speedometer. We want to have this small nudge. We want to have this seat belt or safety belt. That's what we're presenting, and that's what we believe in. And so I think this is the way forward. And with that, thank you.